Hey gang, it's Pastor Roland Moss, that old history dude, with another edition of Weird News and Wacky History. A look behind the scenes at what's been happening through the years. Say, are you hungry? Me too. Let's go get some goodies from the kitchen. Born in 1903 in Massachusetts, Ruth Graves Wakefield's degree in household arts easily landed her a job as a home economics teacher, dietitian, and lecturer. In 1930, as the Great Depression deepened, she and her husband Kenneth purchased a Plymouth County building that had once been a turnpike toll booth. After remodeling the 1709 structure, they only had about $50 left to operate the new toll inn. There weren't even enough plates to go around, so dirty tableware was quickly washed, dried, and the tables reset. But Ruth's delicious food brought in such patrons as Senator John F. Kennedy, baseball slugger Joe DiMaggio, and actresses Bette Davis and Gloria Swanson. Her cookbook, Toll House Recipes Tried and True, first published in 1931, would eventually contain over 800 recipes by 1954. As a 1938 variation on her popular butterscotch nut cookies, Ruth used diced semi-sweet chocolate instead. She named her new creation? No, actually, she called them Toll House Chocolate Crunch Cookies. Various chocolate companies vied for her endorsement, but Ruth stuck with Nestle. On March 20th, 1939, she made it official. She sold her Toll House cookie recipe to them for $1 and a lifetime supply of chocolate chips. I think everyone came out on top in that deal. Craving something a bit different? Well, then try a bite of this. August 3rd is National Mustard Day. Surely you knew that. No? Well, to celebrate in a big way, Cool House Ice Cream of Los Angeles debuted a festive new flavor on Wednesday, July 31st of 2019. French's Mustard Ice Cream. Yep, you heard me right. Available for a limited time only in LA and New York, this zesty frozen confection was served with a pretzel cookie on the side. As lovers of sweet meets savory, pure ingredients, and unique creations, we are incredibly excited to be collaborating with French's Mustard in creating this one-of-a-kind product, says Natasha Case, Cool House CEO and founder. It's been so fun to explore this classic condiment in a whole new way and create an unforgettable, thoughtfully crafted ice cream flavor with an all-American taste. The folks at US Magazine managed to sample the tangy taste treat and reported that the bright yellow-colored confection was sweet and refreshing to the palate. A lingering hint of flavor on the tongue may put off folks not fond of the taste of mustard, though. Getting a bit tired of the standard chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry offerings of your local store's freezers? Bummed that you missed this unusually flavored ice cream? Then check it out online at McCormick.com. You're welcome. Speaking of the people behind your favorite foods, which one of the following is imaginary? Duncan Hines, Chef Boyardee, Aunt Jemima, or Uncle Ben? Well, if you answered Aunt Jemima, you're absolutely correct. Aunt Jemima was created by the owner of a flour mill in the late 1800s. As to the others, Duncan Hines was a restaurant reviewer in the 1930s who, as a traveling salesman, had eaten more than his share of awful meals on the road. So he and his wife put together a list of several hundred excellent restaurants around the country for his traveling friends. Due to demand, he began selling it as a paperback entitled Adventures in Good Eating in 1935. Chef Boyardee's real name was Ettore Boyardee, and he opened the Giordano d'Italia restaurant at East 9th Street and Woodland Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio, back in the 1930s. His food was so delicious that satisfied customers started asking him for the recipes. When demand outgrew his restaurant's ability, he began mass producing his products in 1928, naming the product phonetically to help people pronounce his name. Finally, Uncle Ben was an African American farmer from Houston, Texas, with a widespread reputation for his delicious rice dishes. And now you know the people behind the brands. Sadly, many folks are absolutely clueless about the origin of their foods. Where does your food come from, anyways? Everybody knows that, right? Not even vaguely. A recent Department of Agriculture study in Missouri and Indiana found that 12.3% of those surveyed thought that hamburgers were made from pigs, while another 5.9% had no idea whatsoever where hamburgers came from. Sadly, our schools don't seem to be helping alleviate the problem much. A 2011 study found that 78% of California kids living in cities had no ideas that pickles actually came from cucumbers. Meanwhile, 28% of school kids hadn't the faintest conception that cheese is a milk product. And speaking of the dairy industry, nationwide research by the Innovation Center for the U.S. Dairy discovered to their amazement that 48% of Americans haven't a clue how chocolate milk is made. And one last thing before I go. Chocolate milk does not come from brown cows. Instead, cocoa and sugar are added to white milk. You may laugh, but 7% of American adults, a stunning 16.4 million folks, believe this amazingly common misconception. Well, that's all the time we have for I Don't Know What I'm Eating and Where It Comes From. The magic food fairy just delivered my lunch, and the mystery meat sandwich on pseudo bread looks awfully good. So long for now. And that's about all the time we have for this episode of Weird News and Wacky History. Look behind the scenes of what's been happening through the years. I'm your host, Pastor Roland Moss, wishing that all your news could be just a little bit weird.